Yeah,
ready?
I'm ready.
All right, and welcome to another, shaking his head already. Welcome to another riveting episode of Thanks for Sharing Podcast. I'm Joe White. We are brought to you by Dan Rouse at Mitsubishi Cherry Hill. If you're listening, you still owe me money, dude. KO Pest Control, yet again, Dan Rouse, you owe me money. Mark's waiting your Venmo. I don't know why you don't believe him. Pace Roofing, great roofers. Colt Recording, Hoover Delivery Service, who's been on fire on Instagram. They've been wrapping stuff up nice, moving people's houses, man. ERT Restoration, Art History, great clothing company. Black Sparrow Tattoo, Four Seasons Landscaping, great guys. Sharky's Barbershop, yes, you do sponsor us. RD Realty, Bone Marrow, Capital Adjustment, Santini's Grill, Slammin' Sandwiches in the Northeast, and as always, the Philly Fuck Lounge.
Nice.
Nice.
Are you actually sponsored by any of these people?
All of them.
They're paying you money?
Yeah, some of them.
So how does somebody sponsor you without paying you money?
So a lot of my buddies have companies, and
Okay.
they're like, yo, shout us out.
Can my wife's company be on there?
Sure, man.
Little Crow Apparel.
Little Crow Apparel.
Add Little Crow Apparel to there.
All
She'll
right.
actually pay you money though.
Yeah, she can. I mean, Hoover Delivery Service did. My buddy Joey called me up, and he was like, what's your Venmo? And I was like, I don't. 'Cause
Oh no, she definitely will.
I live in the Stone Age, and I was like, I don't have Venmo. I barely use my bank account.
Okay.
So he dropped $50 off to me.
Nice.
All the other one, I mean, he is my buddy, but like all the companies on here are my buddy.
Okay. Well, if
I know
you
someone
mention
there, or they hit me up.
The Little Crow, I'm sure if anybody buys anything, she will definitely give you guys money.
Yeah,
Because I'm trying to branch her out. She does like this amazing stuff, and like her promotion is horrible.
Yeah.
Like absolutely, and she will watch this, and she knows I think it's.
Does she
absolute
make
junk.
T-shirts and stuff?
She does like crocheting and all.
Oh, she crochets.
Yeah, little crochet action.
Dude, crocheting's nice, dude. Cream, sugar, a little bit.
A little bit.
Speak your mind, man. You're allowed to.
I don't want to.
Listen, there's been many off-camera discussions
Okay,
on
that's
this
fine.
podcast.
That's fine. How you doing, buddy?
I'm great. I got my buddy Steve Bickle with me. I don't think we said that, you know.
Yeah, it's
I
all
like,
right. It's insignificant.
Nah, it's pretty significant.
Everybody who sees this knows who I am.
Spit all over you. Yeah, I mean, do they?
No, not at all.
Yeah, because most of the people that listen to this, like, you're like the third comedian I'm on. They're like, I liked your comedy, buddy.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
okay,
all
well,
right.
that's good.
Yeah, I'm just trying to spread the love.
That's
why the sponsorship thing, which
Yes.
is kind of a joke. It's like all my friends' companies, you know what I mean?
You're like me. You dabble in and out of very many worlds.
Yeah.
You know, so
Well, I do the comedy world,
Yes.
which is what I do, and I'm very clueless in that because
Yes.
like I'll be around you guys, and you're like,
seems so professional. Thank you so much.
they're like,
That's amazing. Thank you.
we're all about.
I love
service.
the little everything.
We're all about service here.
Yeah.
Nice little saucer.
Wait,
Yeah.
what was the other world you dabble in?
No, I mean, comedy's like what I do the most, and like the amount of people.
Well, when I
know.
say dabble, that seems negative. I don't mean you dabble.
No, I didn't
I mean
think it
you're
was-
you're in and out of different worlds. Like I like to think I am also.
Yeah, but as far as the comedy, like I know less people in comedy.
I don't know that. Well, yeah. Well, I don't know how many people you know, so I don't know why I would say.
Like when we're all around, like shooting the shit at open
Yeah.
mic, someone will be like, you know, Steve Inson, and I'll be like,
I think you do that also because you like to tell people you don't know people.
No, I really don't. Genuinely, you know, unless we've had conversations, then there's.
You like the big time people. You're like passive aggressive big time. That's what you like to do. You act like you don't know things to make people feel stupid,
No, I really don't know things.
or to
dude.
be
I'm
like,
being-
well, it's not worth my time to know that person.
No, I'm being super genuine. I just don't know because I don't go out as much, especially with all this going on. People are still
I don't think
diehard
anybody.
going out.
Yeah, nobody really goes out that much. I mean, have you been out? You
Once
went out
over
to
the
the
summer
Grape-
at Grape
yeah, the
Room
Grape,
when
yeah.
everyone did it. Then I did another one towards the end of the Grape Room
Yeah.
in the fall.
The Grape's not doing anything now.
Yeah.
Silas is just he's bullying people online.
Yeah, good for Silas. Shout
I
out
love
Silas.
Silas.
Yeah,
I love Silas.
I like him too.
You know, but yeah, he's sticking to his guns, which is, you know, that's how it is nowadays. You know, people were either, you know, I think I'm more in the middle. I go half the week, I'm like, we're probably all right. And then the other half of the week, I'm like, we're all going to die.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, last week I had like a bit of a head cold, and I was like, is this it? And I was just shoving a shampoo bottle up my nose, and I was like, I can still smell this, so I think that's good.
Well, I don't think anything's going to kill you.
Yeah, I shoved many shampoo bottles up my
Depends
ass,
on the
dude.
shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that, dude? I'm about feminism. I'll shove something up my ass. I don't care.
Is that really feminism?
In my head, it is.
So, so feminism
Well, listen,
is shoving something up your ass?
Well, can I say, if you are a feminist and you're a dude and you don't have anything up your ass, what's your problem?
You probably, yeah, you're fucking up somewhere.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know.
I feel like that's the requirement to be a male feminist. You
Yeah,
have to be
you have to have
willing
something
to
up
and
your
cool with having something up your
Would
ass.
you be all right with something up your ass all day? Like if you put something, like you woke up in the morning, you did your normal routine, shove something up your ass, and then went about your day. Do you think at any point you'd forget that something was up your ass?
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to
I've
even
been there
do
too.
like, I wish I found enjoyment out of freaky stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I wish I had like a kink like that. Like I was listening to something today where they were talking about people who were like really turned on by sneezing and shit like that. I think I'm pretty cookie cutter as far as my normal turn-ons. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. Anything freaky turn you on?
I'm just down for whatever, to
No,
be
I'm down
honest
for
with you.
whatever.
Yeah.
I'm saying some people are really into something.
Yeah, well, I prefer to keep it that vanilla. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't even know. Like, I think about it a lot. Like, sex is like a human desire, and I don't think I'm like an over sexual person. Mm-hmm. You know,
No, neither am I. I don't
like
think
when
so.
it's happening, it's great. But
Yeah.
also if it's not happening, like I'm not like. I know a lot of dudes who are like, dude, it's been a week since I got laid. I'm like, grow up, dude. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, that I've never been like that either. You know,
Yeah.
but well, what are you gonna do?
But if you're like that, good for you.
Yeah.
Good on you. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I don't care.
The Sex Shack or whoever's sponsoring you is
Philly Fuck Lounge, man.
Philly Fuck Lounge. Is that a real place?
Up and coming club, man. You
Is that a
gotta-
real place?
Listen, you got to slide in my DMs for info, dude.
Now is that
and,
something like I could take the kids to, or
Yeah, it's a family affair, dude. Why
okay?
not?
Because I mean, the name sounds like you probably shouldn't. But do you ever go to one of those places with your kids and you're like, they had the best time? Like they really do.
What,
Sometimes like in the lobby, like any place like Fuck Lounge, like
Yeah.
Kitty Shack,
Yeah.
like things like that.
Hooters?
Like my kids, we went.
Are you talking about Hooters?
No, we went to a place in. We went to a place in Illinois. It was like the Titty Shack, and they loved it. They
Yeah.
loved it. They absolutely loved it. They had a great time. Great people there. Really good meatloaf.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Hey, as long as the meatloaf was on point. That's how my uncle judges diners.
You
If they
should.
have
If
good,
they got good
meatloaf.
yeah. That's why, yeah, I'm like that with burgers. I'll go into a place, I try the burger.
Well, I was dying laughing the one night. I was like getting ready for bed, and I was watching Undercover Boss just because it's like, you know, when you turn the TV on, whatever the last channel was on.
Sure.
So I think it was like a Sunday night, so I was watching football in my room.
Okay.
So it was like CBS or Fox or something, and late night they had Undercover Boss, and it's like the equivalent of Hooters. It's called Bikinis. I don't know if you're familiar.
No.
But it's a restaurant that's pretty much just Hooters, but
It's
they're in
Hooters, yeah,
bikinis.
it's like a ripoff, yeah.
Yeah, and dude, this dude was cracking me up. The Undercover Boss was cracking me up because like the one waitress, they had to fire her because she just showed up late all the time, and he was like, I feel like you don't care about your future at Bikinis. I'm like, I wouldn't either, dude.
It's almost like you should show up late to a place called Bikinis.
Yeah.
Like if they're showing up on time, you're like, there's something wrong
Yeah,
with this.
and
person.
I'm a bartender at a franchise restaurant. If I was on Undercover Boss and they're like, "Hey, listen, I feel like you don't value your future here," I'd be like, "You might be right."
Now you're a bartender. Do you consider yourself a bartender though? Like, do you feel like a bartender?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, I mean, there's a feeling to being a bartender. Like you can bartend, but
Yeah.
then like feel like you're at like I'm a bartender. Like because I bartended for like I don't know, close to 15 years,
Yeah.
and I felt like a bartender.
Are you diminishing my bartenderness
No, I'm
because
asking.
it's at a franchise
I'm asking
restaurant?
if you. I mean, I did a lot of corner bars, but I worked at Pizzeria Uno. I bartended
Yeah.
there for a while. So
Well, I'm
that
the
was like,
daytime guy, so it's not like I'm.
Oh, so that's like the sad bartender.
Well, I used to do Friday nights, which was fine,
Yeah.
but I did the drink tickets.
So you get
Because the
like,
dude who does all the guests, he's been there for like since the place
Yeah.
opened. Like he came with the building.
the only job. Here's the funny thing about that. The only job I was ever fired from in my life was from Pizzeria Uno
Yeah,
because they accused me of stealing the liquor.
yeah, you
Which I
probably
did.
did.
No, I
dude.
didn't.
Look at
I
you.
didn't. It turned out to be this guy that worked there for like 20 years, but they already fired me, but they brought me in. And it's a funny story because I walked in, it was Christmas time. It was right before Christmas. They were supposed to call and fire me. They didn't. I show up with Christmas cards for everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm walking through the restaurant, going towards the back,
You
handing
seem
Christmas
like
cards
such a
out.
nice guy, dude.
Yeah, handing Christmas cards out to everybody. I go to the manager's office, hand him a Christmas card, and he's like, "Oh yeah, so and so was supposed to call you." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Yeah, we have to let you go." And I'm like, "Why?" They're like, "Well, a lot of liquor went missing." I was like, "I didn't do that." I was like, "What proof do you have that I did that?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, we have you on camera drinking behind the bar." I was like, "Well, you got me there." I was
Yeah.
like,
Well,
I definitely
no,
was
no,
drinking.
no.
But it was also, that's what you did.
Yeah, that's.
I wasn't like getting hammered drinking behind the bar. He was talking about like somebody buying 2 shots or something. Because they actually had a lot of regulars down there near the one on South Street.
Yeah.
And they would come in, they would get like a shot. Get a shot. I wasn't like getting hammered, but I couldn't argue that. I was like, yeah, I definitely was drinking behind the bar.
I'm a big fan of at Uno's. They have the pizza that's a potato skin.
Is that new? I haven't been to one in probably 20 years.
Yeah, it's probably new then.
I'm not a big
But
fan
I'm a big
of,
potato skin guy, and
Oh, I
I'm a
love
big
it.
pizza guy. So
Yeah.
if you just throw a potato skin in a pizza crust,
I don't particularly love pizza. I know that's weird. I know. That says a
all right.
lot about...
I won't judge anybody on what they're a fan of food-wise because I'm not a fan of anything food-wise.
I've just never been a fan of pizza, but I never really liked Uno's pizza either. It was like...
Yeah, no, that's
It was a little too thick for me.
the deep,
Whatever the
deep,
Chicago style.
yeah, that's not pizza in my opinion.
No, it was never my thing.
Yeah, and I know we have a huge fan base in Chicago. Fuck off, that's
Oh,
not
sorry.
pizza. Yeah,
I love Chicago style pizza. That now the new thing is that Detroit pizza. Have you heard of the
I think
Detroit
it's
pizza?
square, right? Am I correct?
I guess.
don't
I
know.
never had it, but there's a place down near me in Manayunk that you have to order like a week in advance. I'm not ordering anything a week in advance.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
it's pizza.
yeah. I don't even know what I'm going to be
The pizza
hungry
at
for.
7-Eleven, which is terrible, is still passable if you're hungry and you're like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
week in
get
advance.
pizza."
And even the reviews are like, yeah, it's pizza.
Yeah,
It's pizza. Like, people are like, oh, my God, it's the best thing I ever ate. There are people that say that about everything.
Yeah.
But the people that are like, it's pizza, and you got to wait a week for your pizza.
well, I probably Portnoy did it.
What's that?
Dave Portnoy
Yeah.
is the president of Barstool Sports,
Oh,
and he
okay.
does pizza reviews, which are like this huge YouTube anomaly.
I'm not. What is
But he's
the-
done a couple places in Manayunk. It might be that place.
It's like it's called Pizza John, which is that word.
Yeah, I think he did do it.
Yeah, that word
Yeah,
jumped the shark many years ago.
exactly. But how good can pizza be at a certain point? You know, what
I'll
I
tell
mean?
you what, there was
I do want to try Angelo's, like in South Philly.
Yeah.
Because a couple of my buddies recommended it. Good people at Suplex, Philadelphia, sneaker store. They're buddies with the
there's
D'Angelo.
so much advertising on this podcast for somebody not being paid by anybody.
I like to spread the wealth, dude.
There's so much. Like, you've literally like plugged so many companies at this point.
Yeah.
I like where you're going though.
I wanna see people
like if
succeed.
I just keep saying it over and over
Listen,
again.
and I feel like you can relate to this in the comedy world. Not many people are like, I want to see you succeed.
No,
and
definitely
I want to
not.
see everyone succeed.
Definitely not.
There's plenty of room for everyone.
Well, the
to have a piece
comedy
of the
by its
pie.
very nature is a jealous business.
Yeah.
I mean, anything in the arts usually is because it's narcissist. That's one.
Yeah.
And it's people who they want to be seen more than anybody else. It's so anybody who congratulates anybody in comedy is totally full of shit. Like, they're probably truthful, like when I say, hey, that's great, but there's always, if they're anything like you, there's like that little voice in the back going like, oh, Kim, why didn't I get that show? I probably could have done that better than that. Yeah. It's always.
I just won't compliment someone if I don't mean it. So if I compliment something, it's a genuine I mean it.
Oh, yeah. No.
Because I have no reason
Well,
to be
if somebody
like...
comes off and asks for something, I'm not going to be impolite. I
Yeah.
always say, hey, great job. I've never once said to anybody.
Like, I've done it to
That was a
people in
shit
comedy
show.
that I don't really know that well. Like, I've seen them around, which as we were talking, like, I'm clueless when it comes to some people that are around. But when we were doing the Monday open mics in Phoenixville, Pat was there the one night.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, man, you were real funny. Because I never met him before,
Yeah.
never seen him before.
He's a great dude.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy.
And I feel like, my head always jumps to they don't like me.
Yeah, well, that's 'cause you're crazy.
Because
but,
I'm a
you know,
crazy person.
Yeah.
But I was like, hey, man, that was real funny. And he was like, okay.
No, he's like a quiet guy. He's
Yeah.
like it's I think that's with comedy too. You either got your introverts or your extroverts.
Yeah.
Within that scene. But he's a nice guy. I've talked to him dozens of times, and we don't have long conversations.
Yeah.
There's some people that just don't want to have a long conversation about anything.
I owe him a couple beers. I know that much.
He will buy you drinks.
Well, I don't drink.
He will buy you something.
Yeah, he'll buy me
There
a
you-
Shirley Temple.
No, but
Well, he sent me T-shirts.
oh, did he?
Yeah, because he was like getting ready, and he has the stay-at-home bartender shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, check out Pat House.
Pat
Another
House.
one for you.
At-home bartender? Or is it
Stay-at-home bartender,
stay-at-home bartender?
yeah. Which as we discussed, I'm a bartender, even though you don't consider me a bartender, which is
No,
offensive
I
at
asked
this
if
point.
you felt like a bartender.
Yeah, I don't know what else I would feel like.
Well, you cannot feel like what you do. You never did a job where you're like, this just isn't me.
Yeah, I'm just used to it. I've been doing it forever. So
You know,
just,
and then there's jobs where you feel like that's like you don't strike me as a bartender. That's why I say you don't really have like that bartender personality,
yeah.
which is where people who like do it for like a living and they're like very in that world. You seem like you're disconnected from it.
Like
you
my
got-
brother's a bartender.
it's a
He's
job.
more of a bartender
Yeah.
than me.
Like,
But
you know,
he
like-
works at a restaurant
And
too,
they'll
but he's
usually
just
work
like,
at different bars, like like Frank over at what's the name, at Callahan's.
Yeah.
He's always a bartender.
Yeah.
He's like a bartender. He'll work at 5 different bars. That's what he does. He's like,
Yeah.
and he's a great bartender. But it's like I don't. I wasn't trying to say. I was saying, do you feel like you're? That's all. Just a question to you.
yeah. I should say I feel like a comedian, right? Because I'm all
Sure.
about putting it out in the universe.
I think you're a great comedian.
Thanks, man. I think you're a great comedian.
I appreciate that, but I don't. Yeah, I think you're a great comedian. I think
know.
I always enjoy watching you. There's very few people where, when I'm smoking and not quitting at the time, where it's like if I'm going out to smoke and they're like, oh, so and so's going up, I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna wait.
Yeah.
And you're definitely somebody I wait because I normally never know what you're going to say, which is it's very exciting
thank
to
you.
have
Thank you.
somebody who's you're like, I don't know what they're going to say, but it's probably going to be funny.
Yeah.
And then there's other people where I'm like, I can go smoke.
It comes from a whole lot of not writing, which is bad.
That's just how your process works.
Yeah.
That's
'Cause-
not. I don't write like longhand.
No, yeah. 2
I
weeks.
write like a line, and then I'll go on stage and I try and flesh it out, whatever it was. It flesh or flesh?
Fleshlight it out.
Flesh
Yeah.
fleshlight it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's the way I do it. And then there's other people who write things out longhand, and I don't know how I can't memorize shit like that.
Yeah, I can't do that. I'll write like the topic of what the joke is, and then
Yeah, that's it.
it's like a one-word thing,
You want to talk about something, and you normally know where your mind's going to go.
which gets
on that.
tricky because they're like, how many times can I just write heroin? You know what I mean? And be like, this is funny, right?
How many times can I just write kids?
I can do a whole hour on heroin, dude.
Well, I mean, originally, that's what I was doing like a lot of the family stuff, and that's really what I do a lot of because that's what I was building towards.
Yeah.
Is doing like an hour of like a well put together, hour that had a beginning, a middle, and an end. I just didn't want to go up there and be like, here's something about this, here's something. I wanted it to be like very connected. And then veer off in little directions here and there. Like there's a method to the madness.
Oh yeah, I just
Yeah.
like the room to breathe. Like if I write it out longhand, then I'm just like I'm trapped into saying this.
I could
'cause
never
that's
memorize it.
Just that's how I could memorize it, but that's just how my brain works. But Naeem was on 2 weeks ago, and he was like stunned. He was like, "You don't write anything, really?" I was like, "Not really." Then he said, "What did you do for the hour?" And I was like, "I don't know. I had like a cheat sheet." Because I've only been doing comedy for 6 months, and I'm not a professional comedian who's on the road doing that hour for a year.
Yeah. Well,
So I had
worked
to
out.
cheat it. You were there.
I was not there. You keep saying that. I was not there.
Thanks for showing up in my time of need, Steve.
I
thought
heard-
you were there.
I heard
honestly.
that's probably like the fourth time you've talked about it, and then you go, "Well, you were there," and I go,
Yeah.
"No, I'm not. I was not there."
Oh, I do know you weren't there because like
think I-
7 months after it came out, you said, "Hey,
I
hey
said I
man,
watched it.
yeah,
I was
watched
like,
it.
"No,
Good
no," I
stuff,
wrote,
man."
Hey, guess what I'm watching right now? And then instead of saying thank you,
I said
you
it's
went,
been out for 7
Yeah,
months.
it's been out for 7 months, and I'm like, I'm sorry, life got in the way.
Yeah,
you know?
how dare you? What, you got kids or something, dude?
Well, I think I probably saw most of your material. I
Yeah,
thought it was
probably.
shot beautifully.
Davron, the
Well, it
man
was-
behind the Thanks for Sharing podcast,
There
man.
you go. It was shot beautifully. It looked great. The background looked great.
Yeah, that's
Everything,
my
sound
buddy's
was
recording
good, you know,
studio,
it was-
Marston House, which is a great little venue to do stuff in. I mean, you could get shot out front. It's happened like 3 times.
You get shot anywhere. So
You can get shot anywhere, but they're more likely.
your odds go up.
But our mutual buddy Albert was like always like, we should do another show there. But the thing about that room is there's no chairs, and it's in an abandoned window factory.
Yeah. You
So
had to rent the
it's
chairs,
on
right?
the 4th floor. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I had to carry like.
You know what? I have to keep that in mind. I'll talk to you about something later. It has nothing to do with,
We'll
but
talk off the camera,
yeah.
man.
Well, it would be pointless. I don't want to talk about
Yeah.
some
I would
project.
I would be down to do more shows there, but yeah, we had 20 chairs there already, and I rented 75 more.
Yeah.
And I lugged them. Hoover Delivery Service, man, proud sponsor of the podcast. He
Yeah.
fucking lugged, because he's a strong guy, man.
Yeah.
He's fucking ripped, dude. He's looking good, gym bod, you know.
Well, I don't know, but I'll
Yeah,
take
no,
your
you
word
know.
for it.
I'll show you a picture of him,
I
dude.
don't
You'll be
wanna
like,
see a
damn, this
picture.
dude shredded.
Don't even want to see a picture. I will take. I like to have my vision of him in my head,
Yeah.
and I feel like it's only going to be ruined or a letdown because people be like, "This guy's Jack," and then they showed me the picture. I'm like,
He's
all right.
Jack, man.
He's
Take
all
my
right.
word for it, dude.
don't
But he
know.
carried like all those chairs up 4 flights of steps, dude. I
Nice.
was like, you're the man.
Why
Thank
didn't you
so
carry
much.
any of the
I
chairs?
carried some of them, but he was a beast, dude.
Yeah.
I saw him the other day. He was super stoned, and he was just fucking. He was going in out of a gas station. I was going in, and he was like, "Yo, I love you," and I was like, "You're the man, dude."
Yeah. Sounds like a
Screaming
good
at
guy.
people on the side of the road's the best. When you see someone you know, and you're like, "Yo."
I like when people do it like when I'm driving and they stop because they see somebody, and then they have like a 10-minute conversation,
Yeah.
and then I'm just sitting there in my car behind them.
Yeah, because
And
you're
I'm
the
like,
asshole at this
yeah,
point.
yep.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Yeah.
here we are.
Fuck me, right?
Oh well. So,
So, you all right?
nah,
How's the coffee?
it's very good. It's
All
the
right.
best cup of coffee.
How's life, dude?
It's all right.
Yeah.
I was diagnosed with skin cancer last week.
Nice. You got a little melanoma.
Yeah, a little melanoma.
You concerned about that?
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know because they're like kind of weird about it.
Right.
They're like, well, we're gonna start cutting into you.
RSO. Rick Simpson oil. Are you familiar?
What's that?
Rick Simpson oil.
What's that?
What is it? 99.9. Yeah.
Well, they already cut a chunk out, but now they're like, well, we're just gonna keep cutting until there's no more.
Yeah. Rub Rick Simpson oil on it. It's so what it is. Are you a weed fan?
No,
No.
no.
Yeah, it won't get you high, but it's this.
I'm not against getting high. I'm just not a fan of weed.
Yeah, well, it's this like weed extract. I don't even know how to explain it. A good friend of mine loves the Rick
Like
Simpson
the
oil.
oil or something like that, the CBD oil. That
No, so I think kind of like sort of. I wouldn't know enough. They both know, and they're back into their own world.
and the cancer just
But,
falls right off.
So this is what I know about Rick Simpson oil. A good friend of
So if I
mine.
stop going to the doctors, use this oil.
Yeah, just rub it on there.
travels throughout my body and kills me. You're gonna be like,
Yeah.
oh man, they're not a sponsor of the show anymore.
Well, I do know that it is like the strongest concentrate of THC out there.
Okay.
Like it's 99.9%
Okay.
THC.
And it's been studied
And
in
it like
cancer research.
it kills cancer. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
It
if you
kills
rub
anything.
some on you.
No, my only concern is so it's on my ear, and it's
You need those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how far can they dig in till they start hitting cartilage?
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, we got to take a chunk of cartilage out. And then I got like, well, I'll just always wear a hat.
Yeah. I mean, I got a Rick Simpson oil guy if you want me to just rub it into your ears
No, I don't.
passionately.
You know what? As much as I would like to take the medical advice of you three gentlemen on this great podcast, I think I'm going to stick with the doctors for right now.
Dude, you think they don't know stuff?
No,
dude?
I. Why did you say I think they don't know stuff?
I don't
said
know. Just your tone.
no. My tone is that I'm going to first go with
The doctor.
the doctor,
Right.
and
Yeah,
then but
they
doesn't
do.
everybody just want to make money off of anybody? I mean,
Rick Simpson doesn't, dude.
no,
Whoever
so
he
it's
is.
free. So it's free.
Not only does he not want your money, he gave you the recipe online to make it yourself.
Oh, I
Yeah.
could. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you should just go make your own Rick
So
Simpson
I'm now
oil,
making
dude.
my own medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Well,
I
yeah.
can't even buy this stuff.
You can buy it if you want, but there's a recipe online, dude.
Rick Simpson. Now is that short for Richard or?
I don't know, dude. I don't know enough about the guy. I just
I
know
see.
that he
I
makes
will
this weed
find out
stuff.
a lot about the guy. So
See-
I want to know what his God-given name is and find out who he is and how he came up with this cure-all.
Yeah. Well, Google him, research him, dude, and fucking call up Google guys. Yeah. I'm a big advocate for people doing the weed, though. Mm-hmm. As a sober man of AA,
Okay.
knowing that I,
thought you
can't
were
do it.
against. I thought you didn't. I thought you were against people who are sober smoking. Like not against.
Well, that's
but
not sober.
I didn't think so either.
Yeah, I'm not against it. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Do you? You know what I mean? I hope it
That's
works
like
out.
saying I'm a recovering alcoholic. I only like wine coolers.
Yeah, that's still not,
You're still, which
Yeah.
a lot of people do. I mean, they'll change to something else and they'll be like, well, I only drink white wine.
Yeah.
So I'm not drinking, a fifth of vodka a day.
Yeah.
So I'm just drinking 2 bottles of white wine. And I don't know.
Which
I guess
is the same.
whatever
makes people feel better.
whatever
about
gets you through
themselves,
the
you
day.
know what I mean? I don't know.
No, but I don't smoke weed. I have like a adverse effect when I smoke. I've tried it.
You freak out a little bit?
No, I get like really sick.
Ah.
I turn very pale, paler than I am right now, obviously, and I get like almost like flu-like symptoms,
Yeah.
like shakes, a little bit of a fever for like 40 minutes, and then it goes away. So I guess what normally that would be somebody's high, like that 40, 50 minutes, whatever, I don't know, is me just
Yeah. I'm
being
gonna
very
throw-
uncomfortable, and
Yeah.
I feel like I have to throw up.
Nauseous. Yeah.
And I'm like, and I've tried it. I mean, the first time I smoked weed, I was probably like 12. And tried it to the last time when I had to call my wife to get me.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not okay right now.
And the only time I ever called her in our entire relationship, I was like, you got to come get me.
Yeah.
I was like, because I got in the car and the road was going all fucking wacky. And I was like, I don't like this. And I didn't like that either. It was almost like when you're drunk and, you're getting like the spins. It's like
Yeah.
the road looked like, and I was like, no. I was like, why? And that was the last time I did it. I was like, so it just, I've never been high from weed.
I hear you. I loved drugs and alcohol, so
I
I,
know.
didn't have that.
I
I
know.
didn't have that happen to me.
I know you did.
Yeah, I was a big fan of it. Thanks, man.
But, yeah, no. Well, when's the first time you smoked weed? Is that the first thing you did?
I was like, nah, drinking was the first thing I
Well,
did.
drinking, yeah.
Okay, well,
I don't really
know.
count drinking
All
as
right.
a drug unless you're an alcoholic.
Yeah, I think, you know what, towards like the end of high school, like I was a late
Oh,
bloomer
you were
with
late,
all
too.
the, yeah.
It's always
then-
the late bloomers.
Yeah, then I was on the accelerated program.
Yeah, it's always the late bloomers. Because, see, by the time I got to college and shit like that, and all the kids were freaking out, getting drunk and high and everything, I was like,
Yeah.
I did that when I was like 12.
Yeah, you're over it already.
Way over it. I mean, I still did that stuff, but it's like I wasn't like, I wasn't like freaking out about it. Like, I feel like I don't think you should be smoking weed at 11, 12 years old or drinking. But at the same time, most of the people I know that got really messed up with shit were all same thing, late bloomers, where their
Yeah.
parents were cops.
I'm just very obsessive about everything in my life. It's just part of my personality
So you
trait.
started, you went weed, drinking,
Drinking, weed, Xanax,
Xanax.
Percocet.
So what was the time frame from weed to the pills?
Maybe like a year or
A
something.
year.
Yeah.
So somebody came out and they're like, I have these pills. And you were like, I'll try one.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then that was then.
And I was like, this
then
is
you
the
were off to the
shit.
races on that.
Yeah.
And then from that to like, what, Percocets or something like that?
Well, it went from Percocet 5s to Oxy 80s, which is a huge jump.
Yeah.
They stopped making Oxy 80s and 40s.
I know somebody, but yeah.
You what? That still has them?
Yeah, the 80s, yeah.
I'll come out of retirement right now, dude. Then I went to Perc 30, Xanax, and then after my second time in rehab, everyone was talking about Kensington, and I was like, I guess I'll check that out. Mm-hmm. Which I wasn't built for down there.
What, Kensington? No.
Yeah,
Not
but
many are.
I spent a little bit of time down there, smoking dust, smoking crack.
So from weed
Then
to
back to
like
30s.
So like from weed to like when you would say I definitely was fucked up at this point, what was that time frame? Like a year or two, 3?
Yeah,
4?
probably like a year or two. Yeah.
Wow, see that was fast.
Yeah.
That was a quick decline.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
But you're better now.
Then there was a couple times, you leave rehab and you're like, I'll just drink. And then I got drunk and I walked home from McFadden's, which is at 3rd and Spring Garden.
Yeah, I know.
And I live in Ben Sam, which is like 13 miles, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about that.
Yeah, which is far.
Yeah, yeah.
It might not sound far to people.
Oh no, it's far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
13 miles. I walked home on 95. Didn't know until I got sober that that's illegal to do.
Yeah, what's that? Like a 7-hour walk?
Yeah, well, I ran half of it. I ran.
And this was after drinking?
yeah, drinking.
Usually people don't do that drinking.
I was,
Yeah.
I was sensitive and defiant because I remember my buddy was like, hey, listen, get in the car, sit on his lap. And I was like, fuck that. I'm walking. Then they found me walking onto the ramp, which it took me an hour to get to the ramp of 95. And And they were like, dude, get in the car. And I was like, you're right, man. I'll die for you. And then he was like, just get in the car. And I was like, you know what? Fuck you, asshole. I'm walking.
So you were just fun to be around in general. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a shame.
Regular old wild card, man.
Well, there are people that have significant problems, but they're still a ball to be around.
Yeah, that's why I didn't
My
like
uncle
drinking
was
that
like
much,
that.
just because my inhibitions on drugs, my inhibitions were pretty low, but drinking, my inhibitions were even lower.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is sick.
Yeah. No, I got pretty bad with drinking, but luckily, I don't know. I don't know. I think I just grew up, got out of it.
We call it a come to Jesus moment in my household.
What? When you were done with it?
Nah, just anybody. Everybody has
Well,
one
it
in their
wasn't come to
life.
Jesus. It was more like an ultimatum by my wife. She was like, "This is done."
Yeah.
She's like, because I think I was probably like, I don't know, 28.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was still, and I don't remember. I would say I don't remember the majority of probably 18, 19 to 28.
That's good, man. That's just 10 years.
Yeah.
You can afford 10
Yeah.
years, man.
I mean, because I was one of those
You're
guys.
still a young man.
Oh, very young.
Yeah.
But I was one of those guys that, if I went out and I was drinking, the goal was to get as shit faced as humanly possible.
Yeah.
So it was always blackout drunk.
Well, my big thing, especially in the cocaine days
Yeah.
of me doing cocaine, I'm not saying you, I had cocaine days.
Mm-hmm.
See, most people do coke and they continue to drink. They're like,
Yeah.
I can drink more now. But once I did coke, it was just yard out on doing coke all night.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck drinking.
I'm glad I never did any of that, because then I have a personality that would have probably very much enjoyed
Yeah,
that.
well, I do. Even without drugs, like I can get scratch offs are big for me. I don't do those anymore.
You just have an addictive personality.
Yeah,
Like,
sneakers.
don't people not believe in that anymore or something?
I mean, I believe in it.
You believe in addictive?
Yeah.
I mean, I do too. But I think I heard something where people were like, "That's not a real thing. It's underlying things." And all
Yeah,
this
so
other
it went
stuff.
from drugs to like gambling a little bit, even though I wouldn't consider, I mean, scratch offs are gambling, but it was just getting obscene, and people are like, how obscene could you be getting on scratch offs? I'm like,
You're
it
just
was
addicted
bad.
to anything that could like fuck up your life. So it's like losing money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Well, I'm on sneakers now.
losing money.
Yeah, which I
Yeah.
have 50 pairs, You
I
don't
know,
really
and
need
you're
that.
proud of that, and me being the complete opposite.
I mean, I am proud of
I
it.
don't
I'm not
think I
like,
own a
hey,
pair
look
of
at my
sneakers.
sneakers.
I know, but I think the sneaker guys, I've never got that.
Yeah.
I never got the whole sneaker thing.
Well, I got like sneakerhead friends who are just like, I just got these
Yeah.
$1,200 pairs
like
of
the people
sneakers.
that
I'm
are
like, oh
waiting
my
out- like
God.
grown men waiting outside for a sneaker in the
Yeah.
rain at 4 a.m.
People do it.
Yeah,
People fucking do it, man.
I'd love to know what that fulfillment feeling is. You know what I mean? Like,
just
what that feels like when you get those sneakers.
Yeah.
Like, I probably am missing that in my own life.
Yeah.
Like, what do I have that is the equivalent of that?
I don't know. You got to find your thing, man. Everyone has
But
to
I don't
find
want
their
it to be
thing.
sneakers.
It doesn't have to be sneakers. I'm not telling you. It has to
But
be
I think I
sneakers.
need like that where it's like I don't wait in lines. I don't do lines. I just
Yeah.
can't. Like if
Well, I went to
a
go
bar-
get literally donuts on Saturday
Yeah.
from this banging place called Yum Yums, who does not sponsor this podcast, but they are very good donuts.
Yum Yums.
Yum Yums Donuts in Southampton, I believe it is,
Uh-huh.
or Warminster. I don't know, one of those. But it's like 45 minutes from my house. I drove up there,
Yeah.
and there was a line into the next parking lot, and I just was like, fuck that.
I don't wait in lines.
And it
Even
was
when we
cold
went to
out
bars,
Saturday.
Like when I was like 21 and stuff like that, and we'd go and there'd be like a line. Fuck that. I'm not waiting in a line.
Yeah, nah, fuck that.
I'd rather go to a corner bar anyway.
Lines suck, dude.
For what?
For what? For
here's
who?
the
For
funny
what?
thing. I don't like gatherings.
Yeah,
so
me
that's
neither, really.
So it's like I play music. Don't particularly like going to concerts.
Yeah.
I do comedy. I don't particularly like going to comedy shows. I don't like. It's not that I don't like people. It's just I don't like things like that. Like, which has always been weird. Like I love playing sports growing up. I don't watch sports.
Sports is one of the few ones. I love seeing bands live. I'll see comedy live. I don't have a problem
When I'm
with it.
there, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I'm like one of those guys. It's like I gotta drive there. And
Yeah.
Parking. then I
But
gotta-
sports, yeah, I'd rather watch it on TV.
I'd rather
That's just me.
But see, I also with going to see bands and everything like that is I'm always like I wish I was on stage.
Yeah, I get that.
Like I start getting into like almost like a depressed state. Like I wish.
Yeah, I
was
wanna
on
be
stage.
doing that, yeah.
I don't like being a spectator.
Right.
And it's like it's hard.
So
to,
sports might be easier for you because you're probably like, man, I wish I was up to bat next. I could hit a dinger right now.
Well, that's the problem. I was never particularly good.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I just pegged you. I just assumed.
Baseball.
Yeah.
I was hockey.
Okay, you were a
Yeah, I
hockey
was
guy.
a hockey guy, and I hate watching hockey. I like it if I'm there. Like,
Yeah.
have you ever been to a hockey game?
Only sport I never been to.
Great. When you're there, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I can't watch it on TV, but I used to play in like 3-4 different leagues.
Yeah, I watch it on TV. I don't play it. I would love to go to a game, but went to an Eagles game the year they won the Super Bowl, and I'm good.
Yeah.
Especially like when you're a sober dude.
Yeah.
Okay, you know the
Yeah, that's the other
tailgates.
thing, yeah.
Like I'll go and tailgate and hang out with people, but it's like I'm not drinking, and then
The
it's
food's
like
good. It's worth it.
yeah. And I went to a Sixers playoff game 2 years ago. Been to countless Phillies games. I actually got kicked out of Citizens Bank Park.
That's pretty hard to do.
Yeah, they put me in the jail underneath, and they're like, "You're never allowed to come to a Phillies game." And I said, "Ever again?" And they're like, "I mean, this year."
Yeah, if you get kicked out of a sporting event in Philly, that's pretty hardcore. Like that means whatever you did in any other city, you could have done half of that and been kicked out of that stadium.
Yeah. Well, you want to know what the thing was?
Because you could literally shit on your seat, smear it on yourself, and they'd be like, it'd be 50-50 whether they kicked you out.
Well, here was the whole thing, dude. Me and my buddy Foley, rest in peace. We went down to the Phillies game. What we did was we took a 6-pack of Bush Pounders, 6-pack of Bush Pounders,
Yeah.
A bottle of Jack Daniels that we
Nice.
put a bottle sombrero on, or
Nice,
not
yeah,
a
yeah.
sombrero, a poncho.
Okay. So a little
So
racist.
we were getting it festive. It was Jack Daniels, dude. There's nothing racist about that.
No, the poncho.
Yeah, that was just cool decor that we had. We split an Oxy 40 because they were still around.
Yeah.
So we were mangled on the way down there.
Did you guys have enough? I mean, it seems like you probably could have got a little bit more.
We probably could have got
Yeah,
more.
a
And I
little
think we
more.
smoked a bunch of weed.
Yeah.
Drank the 6-pack. We split 3 beers each, and we killed off that whole bottle of Jack.
Yeah.
So we went with a bunch of people. I used to work at On the
I
Border.
don't even know how you were standing at that point.
Yeah, me and him used to work at this place called On the Border, which is a Tex-Mex restaurant,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
how I had
Is that
the
where you got the
ponchos.
poncho?
Yeah. So we were there. We were at Citizens Bank Park. We're tailgating. We were technically Phillies employees. This is why we got kicked out, because we were doing the red goes green thing where they collect cans between each inning.
Yeah.
And we got in there, and we were right behind home plate, and I'm collecting the cans, and the one dude's like, "Yo, you in the green fucking beanie I don't even know what they're called. Penny."
Uh-huh.
They were like, he's like, "You like Blue Moon?" And I was like, "Yeah, man." And he was like, "Slam this down." So I chugged the Blue Moon, and there was a security guard there, and they're like, "You're technically a Phillies employee."
Oh, fucking.
Then they threw us in jail for that. Not
They have a
jail.
in the new stadium?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Good for us.
Then they kicked us out. But I remember the officer that was arresting us, his name was Officer Foley, so I thought that was hilarious because I was with
Yes.
my boy Foley. And I was like, "Is that your aunt, dude?" And he was like, "I fucking hate you." But I remember my mom was watching that game on TV, and she was like,
super proud.
"You know how when Comcast, if you have Comcast, I don't know if everyone has Comcast,
Does
but
Comcast support or sponsor?
well,
this
when you
spot?
get a phone call, it has the caller ID on the TV.
Yeah.
And my mom put on the first inning of the Phillies game, and
And it was you.
my mom said at the exact moment, she said, "I hope Joseph doesn't do anything stupid."
Yeah.
And then the caller ID showed up, and it said the Philadelphia Phillies. And they're like,
Yeah.
"Your son's-
Another
your-
proud moment.
Yeah, your son's in our jail."
Oh, well, I mean, shit happens.
Yeah, I partied, dude. Whatever.
I don't think I ever did anything crazy to get kicked out of a stadium. I've been kicked out plenty of bars.
Yeah, but that wasn't even crazy. I didn't deserve to get kicked
No,
out.
I mean the amount that
That's
you
a dumb
consume
rule.
before going into that game that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I was doing
I mean,
all right.
pounders, pills, bottle of whiskey,
Yeah.
and then you were
And a little weed, man.
and a little, just a little bit.
a little weed.
Take the edge off.
You need it.
and then you pound it, and I'm sure you went in there and you were drinking.
No.
No, except for what that guy had you pound.
Yeah, we couldn't get. Dude, this was like the first inning.
Nice.
So I don't think we could have got served if we tried. If I ditched like the green, red goes green thing, I
I
probably
wonder if
could
there's
have.
video of that. You were probably like way sloppier than you remember.
Like
in your
there's
head.
probably not video.
Because I've seen myself like shit faced drunk, where it's
Yeah.
like, it was a good night. And it's like, I got a little drunk, a little fun. And then somebody shows you like video, and you're like, oh shit, I was like a complete friggin' mess.
Yeah.
Like just all over the place.
I think-
I had my sternum cracked. Remember Lucy's Hat Shop?
No, on
There was
South
this place-
Street.
No, it was
No.
it was in Old City.
Okay.
And I don't even know if it's still there. But yeah, I forget what I was doing, but I decided it was a good idea to jump up on the pool table because they had like 2 pool tables that like mirrored each other.
Yeah.
And I jumped up. I think like AC/DC came on, and I was like, "Well, this is fucking awesome." And I was like, and I jumped up on the pool table, and I was like, singing AC/DC, and this fucking bouncer swept my legs out, like the front of my legs, and used my own momentum to slam me into the corresponding pool table right in the center of the pocket, hit the center of my chest. Now, here's the thing, though. Did not drop the beer at all that I was
Good
holding.
for you, man.
Kept it just like that as he smashed my sternum. Then they picked me up by my legs and arms, took me through the bar, kicked open the back door where there's cobblestone, and they Supermaned me out the back. I hit the ground, I roll, I turn around, I go, "You guys actually do that?" I was like, that was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
All over a little AC/DC?
yeah, a little AC/DC. So then, like, I get up, I go around the corner, and I do what anybody would do, and I went immediately right back into the bar.
Yeah, that's what you do.
That's what you
get
do.
kicked out, you just go back
because they were
in.
just having fun, and then they came running and they got me out.
Those were the good old days, man.
Yeah, and then I had to go get an X-ray the next day, and I had like little hairline cracks in my sternum, which is nothing they can do.
They can't. My dad just
You
got...
just go, and you can't laugh or sneeze or do anything like that. And I was like, well, what are you gonna do?
Well, my dad actually just the other day got a hairline fracture on his ribs.
Yeah, nothing they can do.
So he's
that.
just fucked right now, yeah.
Yeah, but the center, that was...
He was letting our puppy out. And it was right after it rained. It was all icy. He fell down the steps.
Oh, that's a shame. How old was he?
70.
Oh, that ain't good.
Yeah. I mean, he's all right. He's fine.
Yeah?
Quit giving my dad a death sentence, dude.
Oh,
What the fuck
saying
is
70
that?
falling on ice?
Yeah, I mean, he got a hairline fracture on his ribs. Yeah, it's rough, dude.
Well, what the hell were you doing at the time?
I was sleeping.
What time was it?
5:30 in the morning, I think.
Oh, what the hell is he letting the dog out that early?
Because he's a puppy. We just got him. He cries.
Oh, yeah, you did say, I heard that you got it.
Yeah.
What kind of dog is it?
A corgi.
What's that?
A corgi?
Yeah, what
it's
is
the
it?
queen's dog, man.
Okay. What's it look like?
A potato, kind of. That's the
I
best
don't know
accurate.
what a corgi is. I mean, I've heard the name corgi. I can't put a picture in my head. It's like that guy with all the muscles. That you
Well,
were
they got
talking
tiny
about.
legs
Yeah.
and kind of like a dachshund. Do you know what a dachshund is?
Yeah.
So
Isn't a dachshund like the hot
the
dog
wiener dog, yeah. So they have tiny legs,
Okay.
kind of like a dachshund body, but they're a lot thicker than a dachshund, and they're bigger than a dachshund.
Where does one get a corgi?
I got them online. I just looked online, and I
And
paid.
why that particular dog?
I just think they're cool, man.
Just in general, you've always been kind of a corgi guy.
Yeah.
And you finally pulled the trigger.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we got one.
What's the dog's name?
The dog's name's Nike.
Nike or something.
Well, listen, this is what happened on the site. The dog's name was Nike already,
Yeah.
which I took from a sign from God to buy
Yes.
this dog.
And what was that? Like
And my buddy Johnny,
$5,000 for this dog?
1,500.
That's not too bad.
Well, he was like $14.90, and we handed him to the people, and they're like, "We owe you $10." And my dad was like,
Keep it.
"You're good."
Did you do it? Did
Yeah.
you do it all cool? Was he like, keep it?
Yeah.
I did that playing Monopoly with my youngest today.
Yeah, and you're like,
It was like $14, and I gave her 15. I was
Yeah.
like, you keep the change.
"Yeah, keep the
Yeah.
change, kid."
She's like, I owe you $1. I was like, nah, you keep
So,
that.
so this is what happened with the dog name.
Okay.
I'm glad you bring this up, dude. Because my buddy Johnny, who's done an episode of this podcast, called me. He's just a very particular guy.
Yeah.
And he called me in a mood about it. And he was like, "You're a jerk off if that dog's name's really Nike." Didn't ask the story of why the dog's named Nike.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. Every time I've gotten a dog, we change the name from the original name.
How many dogs have you had?
This is our third.
Okay. They just
Yeah.
keep dying.
They live very long lives. But
We just
yeah.
had a rat die the other day. Dude, it
That's
was
sad,
horrible.
man.
No, it was actually horrible.
Yeah.
I was legitimately crying over this rat dying.
Over a rat. Yeah.
Over a rat dying.
Yeah. Pets are part of the family, dude.
Especially them. Well, see, both my daughters are allergic to dogs and everything, so we can't have any of that. So I got them. Somebody we knew had rats, and I wasn't a rat person, and I was like, rats. I'm thinking like hamster and shit like that, and then they're like, oh no, I got a couple rats, and she calls upstairs, and sure as shit, here this rat comes down the stairs that she called, comes up to her, she does this, and comes over to us, and they're super intelligent.
Yeah.
They're like smarter than they have about the intelligence of like a puppy.
Okay.
So they know everything, and they love just hanging out and like snuggling and stuff like that. So I really like them. And then one day I was like, I'm going to go get a couple rats because you get two because they'll get depressed.
Right.
They don't like being by themselves. And yeah, we've had them. But the problem is they don't live very long.
No.
They only live between 2 and 3 years. And they were and Chuck died on Sunday.
How old was Chuck?
Chuck was like 2 years, 8 months. So
Oh,
just
wow.
about there. And I was like, oh, man, I saw him in there. Broke my heart. And then it's like my youngest daughter, like she loves them. And I was like, so now we're dealing with that. You know, it was like our first dealing with death. And I don't deal with death well.
Yeah.
So now I got to help somebody deal with death. And I'm not like the best at that. I'm kind of like,
I deal with it a lot better than most people.
well, I deal with it. I think I deal with it well, but I guess, you know, I don't know. It's like people are always like I either am too like silent about it.
Yeah.
Or like, you know what I mean? And people are like, are you all right? I'm like, I'm fine. And they're like, well, I don't think you're fine. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like, what do you want me to do? It's like, but she was just upset and I could see like she was not really processing. And then my oldest daughter, who has special needs, she just constantly is asking where he's at.
Yeah.
But my youngest daughter, and I could tell, I was like, this is going to be like, but we put him like in a nice little box, and we went outside, and she helped me dig the hole and everything,
Nice.
and we put him in there. And
Nice little funeral for
Chuck.
For Chuck.
You
He
know.
deserved it, man.
He was a great rat.
Did it for Chuck, man.
And now we still have Remy, but Remy's old too.
Yeah.
And Remy's not doing great. And I'm like, oh man, this is going to be like a back-to-back banger. Right
Yeah.
here. But it sucks. But they were great, man. They would just chill on the couch with me, hang out on my shoulder, just chill.
What about reptiles? Are you into?
I
Oh,
have
you
a-
got a
well, I have a
turtle.
tortoise.
Oh, you have a tortoise.
Tortoise.
Mark over there is opening Cold Blooded Kingdom, which is a reptile zoo store. Is that a
Okay.
correct? No. He gets mad every time. No, I got a thumbs up every time. So he used to own a vape shop,
Okay.
and he's been waiting for his next thing.
Okay.
So like people who we all mutually know, they'll go to me for information about Mark instead of asking Mark.
Okay.
And they're like,
and you're saying he's opening up a reptile.
well, the people will hit me.
Okay.
But a lot of people, like a lot of my friends, will be like, what the fuck's Mark doing with all these snakes and lizards and shit? And I'm just like, he's opening up a zoo or some shit. I don't know. And they're like, what do you mean he's opening up a zoo?
Fucking farm. He's like,
A farm, a reptile farm. Yeah. Alligator farm.
Snake people or snake people.
What
man,
kind
I
of
love
tortoise do you have? Do
them. I
you
have
know?
a sulcata.
You got a sulcata? What do you have? Just the one sulcata?
You have a sulcata? How old?
yeah, I have like a 7-year-old female lab
Oh, so pretty big.
Yeah, she's decent. Yeah, she's not huge.
Yeah. She's going to get huge.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we call her a female because, you know, it's hard to really figure out what they are. Now she's 5, so if she lays eggs this year, which is usually when they start doing that, then we definitely know. If not, then
Yeah.
maybe Shelly is a boy. But yeah, I mean, I'm thinking probably boy now because for a 5-year-old tortoise, I mean, she's huge. I mean, she's at least 20 pounds.
If it lays eggs, what are you going to do with the little turtles?
Well, they're not fertilized, Joe.
That makes sense.
You know how that works, right?
Well, I was going to say, how's it going to lay eggs without fucking? But then I guess they just lay eggs.
They do it. Geckos do it.
Yeah, so do chickens. Chickens lay eggs without
Yeah,
fucking.
okay.
It's the rooster has to fuck it, and so the semen. Well, imagine an egg looks like an egg, and the semen comes in, and
Yeah.
it goes into and then it's fertilized, and that's what makes that and Jesus, and it makes a. Yeah.
I got you now. I
You're
never really
like,
thought about
what if
animals
it
that lay
had
eggs.
eggs? The best is here. Well, we're gonna call the news because this tortoise
Yeah.
had babies with
Yeah.
no help.
That's
from,
the turtle Jesus, dude.
Yeah, it's a tortoise though.
Tortoise.
Yeah.
Excuse me, man.
a
I should
tortoise.
know better.
Well, all tortoises are turtles, but not all turtles are tortoises.
Dude, Mark's impressed with you right now.
Oh,
This is his life's work right now, dude.
yeah.
Him and our other buddy Kyle.
What about? No, it'd be a cool fucking thing to do. Vape shop / reptile. Dude, you know how many people come in for some shit and be like, "I'll take a snake, fuck it."
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll fuck. Like, do we need a snake? I think we do. Like, who's buying these reptiles? Definitely people who
People
vape.
that vape, yeah.
Yeah.
Mark vapes.
Yeah, if you do nothing, you called it nothing. Sell nothing but
are sucking on them e-cigarettes.
nothing but bearded dragons. They'll be
Yeah.
like, I fucking need a bearded dragon, man.
Yeah.
And I'll take some of that cotton candy, 12 mil.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Bearded
Dude.
dragons are like, they're the shit. I would have a bearded. They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've had.
Mark doesn't have a bearded dragon, dude.
You don't have a bearded dragon?
Kyle has one.
Yeah, they're cool as shit.
So he has a partner who he does this with, and he has a bunch of shit.
I'm telling you what, in 6 months he's gonna have that vape shop reptile.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be like, I knew that shit was a good idea.
Yeah, and you're being, yeah,
Like
government.
every time, you come out, you get a free snake. Where was your vape shop?
Fairless Hills.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had to shut one of those down with my work before, and
Yeah.
I always felt
It was
bad
called
about
Pink
that.
Cloud Vape Shop, man.
What was it called?
Pink Cloud Vape Shop. It used to sponsor the podcast,
Oh, okay.
even though they were closed already for
Yeah,
like
well,
a year
I mean,
now.
I mean, the sponsorship for this show is unmatched. I mean, I find that just very impressive that you've gotten this many businesses together.
Yeah, I'm proud of a lot
that
of them.
support.
A couple of them are just people in the area that I admire, like Art History. Like I don't really know the dude, but he makes great T-shirts.
Yeah.
Like Sixers players will like be wearing his shit.
Are you
like,
afraid that they?
well, I just hit him up because like I know a couple mutual people, and I was like, can I say you guys sponsor the podcast?
Yeah, because I think you should probably do
and
that.
And the dude JP was like super nice. He was like, absolutely, man. Then he
Yeah.
sent me a couple free shirts, and I was
Nice. That technically they do sponsor the
Yeah.
show then. Yeah, because you might get
like, my
in
favorite one, which I've
trouble.
talked about multiple times, is Four Seasons Landscaping because of their tremendous
Yeah.
success lately.
Yeah.
And people are like, do they really? And I'm like, yeah, dude, they fucking do.
Have they sent you anything?
Yeah, they gave me some free shirts.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, they definitely. What's the deal with that company?
They have a documentary coming out. You
Oh,
can watch the documentary.
Yeah, because I'm like, what was the connection? What brought like Giuliani there? Like that's just a very bizarre.
So my buddy Sean does their social media, and my
Yeah.
other buddy Mike like owns Four Seasons Landscaping. I'm pretty sure that's correct. I don't want to misspeak,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And Sean was like, I would tell you all the stuff, and I was like, I don't want to know all
It's
the
probably
stuff.
wacky.
Yeah, it's I'm sure it is, but there's a whole documentary being made about it.
Well, that's good because I always
They had a
thought-
Super Bowl commercial, dude.
Did they? I didn't. I don't have TV anymore. I mean, I have TV. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't have cable.
Right.
I got rid of that.
I don't think the Super Bowl's on cable, but
It is.
is it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have like TV. Like I don't have.
Oh,
like-
you just stream.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I get
Yeah,
it.
so we
now.
have like Disney Channel for the kids and Netflix and Prime.
Okay.
We have all those. I mean, because I was getting killed by Comcast,
I
who is
hear
a
ya.
sponsor of the show.
No, they're not. Fuck them.
No, I was getting killed by Comcast. And I mean, for one box with HBO, I was paying like and regular internet, not even their good shit. I was paying like over $200 a month. I was like, this is insane. I would call them all the time. I'd be like, do you think I have like 5 televisions in my house? I was like, I have
They
one
do.
TV.
They're out to get you, man.
And then I hear other people, they're like, I got 15 TVs, the best internet. It's like $3 a month. I'm like, so am I paying their bill? Like,
Yeah. You
So
know,
I
it's
find
crazy.
that-
Most of the time with Comcast, if you're like, hey, listen, I'm canceling this because it's too
well, I
much,
did. No, they tried
they
to.
buckle.
No, they did.
Oh.
But I what's the name? I finally, I was like, nah. I was like, I'm going. I did up my internet, stayed with them, and I'm like, and it still sucked. And then I called like Verizon, and I was like, and they were like, oh, we'll give you the best internet we have for half of that price. I was like, sold.
Nice.
So no, we're all happy. I don't miss it at all.
Good for you, man.
I mean, what was it? When's the last time you were like, oh, it's Thursday at 8:00. I got to get home to watch that show. I mean, nobody watches television.
You got a good
like that.
point. Sports is the only reason I think I really
I
have
will
it.
miss the Phillies. I do like watching the Phillies, but I'm an old man. I like listening to it on the radio too. I do.
I mean, I would be pretty bummed if I didn't watch the Super Bowl.
really?
I could go to somebody's. Yeah. I love the NFL season. It's my favorite time of year.
Really?
Yeah.
Eh.
I know. I don't seem like it.
Well, no. I mean,
Like, yeah, you can say it. It's
no.
fine.
It's not that. No, I was not passing judgment on you. I've never heard you talk about it. But then again, I've never heard you probably talk about a lot of things that you're interested in.
Yeah.
This is a perfect opportunity to fill me in on everything that you might like.
And that's
that
why I
have
do
no
this.
clue about. And then if I don't know it, accuse me of passing judgment on you.
Yeah, no, yeah, I wouldn't be mad if you didn't know it.
Well, you're like, well, I know that you probably don't. No, I just, you never said anything about football, and why would you? I mean, but most football guys do tend to talk about football.
Yeah.
So you're like an Eagles fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
My morning routine is spent listening to 97.5, which is
I
sports talk
would
radio.
listen to sports talk a lot too, and I don't even watch that much sports
Yeah.
just because sometimes it would, I just found it interesting, and then you would get annoyed by it.
I have a
and
joke
turn it off.
about the radio
Okay.
station in my special on Amazon.
Now you're plugging stuff too.
I'm plugging
Does your
myself,
own
dude.
special sponsor this podcast also?
Fucking right it does, dude. Where do you think
You're
we got all this
sponsoring
capital from, dude?
Yourself, yeah. No.
Jeff Bezos owes me money. I know that.
How many views on that you got now?
So Amazon, it doesn't tell you how many views. It does it by streaming minute, I think. Ron, is that right? He has no idea either.
So
but
you-
I don't have the password to look at that stuff. My buddy Steve over at Marston House,
So
Steve
you have
Skaggs.
no clue.
Yeah, I have no
How
clue.
it's done.
I call them every once in a while. It won't tell you the overall total. It will tell you in like quarters.
Okay.
But
You
I
got a good rating on there?
I have 74 5-star reviews, man.
74 5-star. That's not bad.
Nah, it's pretty good.
I probably reviewed it.
If you didn't, now's your chance, man.
I probably did.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why I
Hopefully.
wouldn't have.
Well, I appreciate it if you did.
Yeah.
And if you didn't, just
But
do
you
it
wouldn't
again.
know either way.
Yeah.
Are you going to go tonight and go down all 75 to see?
I read them, man.
Well, you don't know. Maybe I have a weird.
If there's a new one,
Maybe I
I'll
have a
read it.
weird name that you wouldn't know,
Yeah, that's true.
like Bunny Lover or something like that.
I mean, there's a couple of like, I'm like, I don't know if I know this person or if they stumbled upon it by accident.
that would be great. That's
I
really
don't know
what you
how
want.
Amazon works. I don't know if like my algorithm, because like I would think that if you get enough good reviews, it would be like, hey, you might like watching this shit.
It's probably no. It's probably if you know people who watch a lot of comedy specials. I can't say that I've seen it come up, and I do watch comedy specials.
Yeah.
You would think like that's probably how it would come up, but then it's probably like, well, who are they watching?
Yeah.
Do they like like it's probably something based on that, and it might come across. I don't know because they definitely want to push their product.
Yeah.
Which you're not.
I mean, I'm only on Amazon, man.
I know, but I mean,
I'm about to put it on YouTube, I think.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Just because I put this on YouTube, why wouldn't I just put that on YouTube?
Yeah.
But I don't know if we have the footage. I
No,
think
you're not
Avron
on.
has the footage.
This isn't on Spotify though, is it?
Not yet. I think we're
Why?
supposed to do it.
Yeah, because it's tough to like listen to it in the car when it's on YouTube.
Oh, excuse me, man.
I mean,
People like the whole experience of this, dude.
Yeah, I don't know.
Have you not seen the lighting on this show, dude?
No, it's excellent.
It's excellent.
But what I'm
lighting.
saying is like probably Spotify because I like to listen to my podcast. I don't, you know what I mean?
Nah, yeah, I get you. My one buddy said that the other day. He was like, "Hey, man, I'm happy you're doing a podcast, but I won't listen to it till it's on a streaming service."
Well,
And I was like, "You don't got to be a jerk off. That's a jerk off way to freeze it."
yeah,
You know what I mean? He's like, "Hey, happy you're doing it. I'm not listening.
Yeah, he
until
probably
you
could've
do
left.
what I want."
could have left out that whole second part.
Nah, I could have left it in.
No.
Oh, him.
He could have left
Yeah,
out the second
yeah,
part. There's people
yeah.
that do that. Like they kind of say a compliment. It's a backhanded compliment.
Yeah, like
It's
you,
hey,
you were actually funny.
great
I'm like,
job, but I'm not listening to you, where they could have just, I don't know. People get really far in life doing
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like somebody at some point either should have smacked them or sat them down and said, you probably should just stop talking halfway through.
yeah, or sat them down and smacked them.
Yeah.
while they're sitting.
I mean, I'm a firm believer in, the hits I've taken through life have definitely probably calmed me down a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm all for people still being smacked in the mouth. I think
Yeah.
there's tons of people. You see them every day where you're like, oh, you've never been smacked in the mouth before.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't talk that way to people.
Exactly.
Because you would remember that smack to the mouth. And you wouldn't say stuff like that. I just think, I see people all the time where I'm like, you've gotten so far in life talking to people that way. That's amazing. Like, that's just
Yeah.
amazing that there's people who've gotten so far and it's like nobody's just cracked the shit out of you yet.
Yeah. What
That's
do
why,
know?
I think people like me and other people who might occasionally crack people in the mouth are good for society.
Yeah, I think it's a very much needed thing, man.
I know you're
Sometimes-
more of a passive person.
I am more of a passive person.
I'm a passive person too, but I think if
I've been
somebody-
hit several times though.
Well, that's still you. Can
Not
still
in a
be passive
while.
and be hit.
Not in a while, but me and Mark over there were out one night, and he kept telling my buddy Sharky, he was like, "Don't you think he just needs to get punched in the face?" And I was like, "Why do you keep saying I need to get punched in the face?"
I don't think you don't strike me as somebody who needs to like. I'm talking about something like a real smack ass.
Yeah, that's why I said it, because I seem like the person who doesn't need it.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah, real smacked ass people that it's just like, man, somebody should just
you deserve it.
like not really like not hurt you, not put you in the hospital or anything like that, but just smack you really hard with an open hand across the face. And then if you continue to talk, which has happened, you
Yeah.
get another smack to the face. And then usually after two, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then the next time they're out and they're, mouthing off and acting like a jerk off to people, they'll go, oh, you know what? I might want to calm that down because of that time that I got smacked in the mouth.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just a proponent of it. And I'm a passive person. I'm not saying go around, hitting everybody, but there's
Yeah.
certain people that, probably deserve.
I'm very passive, and I'm very pro everybody. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
I want people to succeed,
Well, of course.
I guess. I'm pro everybody, man.
You're pro every. Oh, yeah. And you and Naeem, thank you so much when you had him on the podcast for solving racism. That was
Thanks, man.
you too.
We worked
You did
real
it.
hard.
You did it. I remember I was watching it and I was like, they fucking did it.
Yeah.
They just solved racism.
Well, me and him have a lot of race talks every once in a
Yeah,
while. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Well, you're like the white guy with a black friend. You know, just
Yeah.
always winds up talking about race shit.
Yeah.
I tend not to see color like you. It's just a friend.
No, I do. You know, I'm not going to act like I don't. I feel like it's worse to be like, I don't see color.
I do that every time somebody says something like that. They'll be
Yeah.
like, well, I'm sorry, I don't see color. I don't know what you're referring to.
I'm just like, well, I'm a white guy and he's a black guy. And
Yeah,
that's
it
just
was
what it
apparent
is,
from the
dude.
video.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong
You
with
probably
that.
didn't even have to tell us, but you
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. Well, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, well, I'm white. And I'm like, he is?
Yeah. I'm white and Naeem was black.
Naeem-
And we got to the bottom of
Yes,
it, man.
and you did. And you solved racism. And I was like, I hope everybody sees
I
that.
thought about him today because I was drinking chocolate milk, and he famously said on that episode, he said, black people don't drink chocolate milk. And
I
was
did
like,
hear him say it, and I think that's utter bullshit.
Yeah, I
he
think it's bullshit, too.
I think
dude.
he meant
He made
I
a-
don't drink
He
chocolate
made a poll
milk.
on Instagram.
Yeah.
I was like, get out of here, dude.
Like, white people hate orange juice. And you're like,
Yeah.
wait, what?
Yeah. I love orange juice.
I love
personally.
orange
I
juice,
hate
too.
pineapple juice. That's no
I like
go for
pineapple
me.
juice.
Yeah.
I think everybody likes everything. It's just, I think that was like his personal, like, I don't fuck with chocolate milk.
Which is the root of racism, man. Which,
Actually,
yeah,
if there's one drink that could really bring us together, it would be chocolate milk.
that's what I would think.
Starts out white, add a little chocolate.
There you go.
There
man.
you go. And it's delicious.
It is
Dude,
delicious.
sometimes I'll just make a big glass of chocolate milk and it's always when I'm super thirsty and I just fucking smash it.
Me
like
too.
It's gone.
One of my favorite snacks ever is chocolate milk, and people think this is the weirdest thing, and just dipping white bread into it.
You know
Mostly
what?
because
That doesn't sound bad.
Mostly because I had a. You're the first person. Everyone's just
No,
like,
it
you're a
doesn't sound
psycho.
bad.
What's wrong with you?
No.
I had a peasant grandmom who was like, here, you eat this.
Well, I
And
like
was
bread
like,
pudding.
Yeah.
So it's like
Same idea.
Yeah, it's just soggy. I like a soggy consistency.
Yeah.
Sometimes
it's good.
Yeah, sometimes
I mean, it's like, do you like the top of the cereal when it's crunchy, or do you like it when it's all milk lots?
I like it both.
Yeah, I like
So,
both
yeah,
too,
I like
actually.
both. Yeah, I like it both.
Part
So
of the
that's
fun of
why-
cereal.
Yeah. Now my daughter will sit there and like I'll pour her a bowl of cereal in the morning.
Yeah.
And then like she'll go off and do something else.
Yeah.
And then come back to it.
That's too soggy then.
I don't know. I mean, they do the weirdest things in the world.
Yeah.
So you can't.
Kids say the darndest things, I think.
No, they say pretty standard stuff. But what I'm saying,
Okay, all right, man.
they eat the weirdest shit.
Dude, I think we got to the bottom of racism. I think we're getting to the bottom of parenting
yes.
right now, man.
Oh well, yeah, another one on the way. So
Yeah, congrats.
Ugh,
I know.
I'm excited.
My brother's triplets are slowly
crazy.
coming home.
Yeah,
There's one left to come home, and I think he'll probably be home at the end of this week.
I don't know how the hell you do that. I don't know how you do triplets.
God bless him, man.
I mean, that's crazy. I really don't. I've honestly, you told me about that, I don't know, a while ago. And I was like, I think you might have even said it before they were born. When were they born?
December 30th.
Yeah, I don't know. But probably because my wife's pregnant now, like, I thought about that. I think I might have even had a nightmare about that.
Yeah.
About your brother's kids, who I've never met.
Yeah.
Not the kids or your brother. And I'm like,
All great
that
people.
is horrifying. Like, that's horrifying. Like, if my wife came home, which we don't plan any of our kids. Like, that's my joke, where I'm like, we live in a row home. We just fight on the front lawn. Like, we
Yeah.
don't plan children. Like that, like that, like rich people plan kids. We do
Yeah.
it the normal way, which is I'm eating dinner, she comes down crying. That's how we plan children.
That's the way to do it.
That's
too,
the
I
way you
think.
do it. So it's like, yeah, we don't plan kids, but if she came downstairs and said it's like I'm pregnant and it's triplets, I don't know, man. I don't know what I would have done at that point. I don't think financially I could deal with that.
Yeah.
House-wise, I couldn't deal with that.
Well, they're going to get a new house eventually. They live in a row home in Northeast.
Dude, I mean, I
Or a
don't-
townhouse? What's the difference between a row home and a townhouse?
I have no clue.
Are they the
and
same thing?
and I'm like a building inspector, and I don't know what the difference
Yeah.
is. Townhouse, I always think
Watch
of as
like my
a
brother
condo.
secretly watches this all the time. Just never tells me. He's like, we don't live in either of those, dude. And I'm gonna be like, well, you could have fooled me.
Townhouse is like, isn't it like almost like a row home that's like not connected?
I
That's
don't
always
know,
what I
man.
think of when I think of like townhouse.
You're the home inspector, man. You tell me.
I think they're like almost like a row home that's not connected to other houses. And it's like a townhouse. I don't know. It's gonna
man.
drive me nuts now. It's probably just another name for something that we already say.
Yeah, they're probably the same fucking
Yeah.
thing, dude. Yeah,
Townhome. I don't think a townhome is a row home though.
but I don't know.
I don't know either. But
very-
yeah, well, that's good that they're coming home. But yeah, we're doing June, and we're going forward with it.
There you go.
You know, Told the kids they're excited.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well,
It's gonna
now
be-
they are. I
Yeah.
mean, my youngest at first, but she famously went, "This is bull,"
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh." I was like, I thought that too.
That's right, man. You're a middle child. You've been acting like a middle child, and
She has,
yeah.
She's definitely, and that made sense because she has been. She acts like a middle child,
Yeah.
so it's like it was waiting to happen. But
Yeah. My middle brother, I feel like, doesn't act like a middle child.
maybe in like their personal life.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, so what? Are you the youngest?
Mm-hmm.
So it's what, the three of you?
Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, I guess how what's the age difference though? How older is he than you?
Who, my middle brother? He's 2, but it's like almost like 3 because he's born in January '86. I was born in November '88,
Okay.
and he thinks we're Irish twins. My brother's just kind of like a dunce like that, like not good with directions, very book smart.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't
Now-
even say that he's completely like dumb street smart, but he's just
Now, have you?
some things are
always-
out there like
Were
directions
you
he can't
always
do.
like the black sheep of the family?
No, we all got along. It was all
No,
pretty...
black sheep as in you had horrible drug problems.
Oh yeah, I'm the only one.
None of them like murdered people, had horrible drug problems, or went
Nah,
to jail
yeah.
for extended periods of time.
Nope. Yeah,
so it
just
was
me.
you.
Yeah.
You could have fucked with that dynamic then,
Yeah.
because that can sometimes happen. Like whereas he would have
Maybe.
been like maybe like more like the bitchy middle kid.
Exactly. I think my parents did a great job because usually when kids of cops, a lot of them turn out screwed up.
Oh
And
yeah,
me-
I said that earlier. I was like,
Yeah.
the worst kids are.
Well, my
are
dad was a
the
cop.
late
Yeah.
bloomers. You were a double whammy because you're a late bloomer and your dad was a cop. They're always
Yeah.
the biggest fuck ups.
So I was,
always,
you know.
everyone in my neighborhood who was the biggest fuck up. Their parent was a cop. It's probably because when they're younger, they're probably barely ever around. It's like some sort of
My dad was around a lot. He retired when I was like in the 4th grade.
then you just were just
Yeah,
a
I
fuck
just
up.
sucked. Yeah.
Yeah, he retired when you were in fourth. How old was he?
Something like that. How old is he now?
No, how old? when
I
he
don't fucking
retired?
know.
So he went on and did something else.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he had like
Definitely,
a whole nother career. That was a smart move.
Yeah.
How long was he a cop for?
I have no idea.
See, my brother was a cop, and
I feel like there's a lot of questions I should know. Like,
Yeah.
ask my dad one day and be like, maybe I'll have him on this. And I'll be like, have
Yeah.
both my parents on and be like, what don't I know?
that would be good.
Yeah.
I would definitely tune.
My
into
mom
that.
wants to do it with her friend Jen. She was like, we would come on and do the podcast. I'm like, get out
Are
of
they gonna
here.
act silly though?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, okay.
My mom's a silly woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, my mom's silly too. Yeah, no, my brother was a cop. His son who's doing great now.
Yeah.
He's in the army, everything like that. But yeah, he screwed up a lot, and it was But my brother was I don't really get along with my brother that much.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably haven't talked to my brother in years, because one, he was older, but just very different personalities.
And then he'll watch this podcast and be like, I should give
No,
Steve a call.
doubtful.
You never know.
Doubtful.
You know?
No, yeah, we never got along. And then he
kidding me?
became a cop, and I'm like all for the police, everything like that. To a certain extent.
Good thing you said that, man, because people will go ape shit. They'll be like, what? You think cops are all right?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I think it's like any other job. You have your assholes and you have your people who are good at it.
Yeah.
But that's just there's asshole dentist. Unfortunately, they don't
Which
have as much power.
Which I need to go to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my one wisdom tooth sleaze.
Do you go to the dentist regularly?
Wow.
I used to go every 6 months, and I don't suffer from any type of depression or anything like that,
That will do it to you, though.
or anxiety. I used to go every 6 months, like clockwork, and then slowly but surely, I was unable to get out of the car. Like I just got so
Just formed on you.
fucking like, because I had a few bad experiences, and it was like, and then it just I don't go anymore.
Yeah.
I floss and brush twice a day, and it's like that. And guess what? Knock on wood, nothing's happened. I mean, my teeth are falling apart. I got shit teeth as it is.
Yeah.
All my the molars are all had root canal, and they're all breaking apart.
I surprisingly have all my teeth, and they're in semi-good condition.
That's such a dick move too.
What?
You did drugs and everything like that.
Yeah,
Why
I
are
know.
Your teeth better than my teeth.
And along with doing drugs, I don't know if a lot of people know this, your hygiene just goes out the window because you just care about
Yeah, you
drugs.
don't. Yeah. So you should have had
Yeah.
all fucked up teeth. No,
Yeah.
I
Like,
have
I
what
probably
they-
didn't brush my
they
teeth for
call
a
them
good 2
milk
years.
teeth. Did you ever hear milk teeth? I have milk teeth. They're like European teeth. They're weak. They're just soft.
Yeah.
Like they'll break on any. Dude, I broke a tooth on a piece of popcorn, and not the seed, just a fucking piece
nice
of regular
fluffy kernel.
Dude, I had a tooth break right in half, split down the middle, eating a rib one time. But just got a big old plate. It was super.
That's how I
exciting.
lost one of my baby teeth.
Bam.
I bit
Broke
into
in
a
half.
rib and it came out.
Yeah, you get that hard part of that rib, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, all my molars, all root canals, and now like they're dead, so they'll just start breaking apart. So at some point, I'm gonna have to get something done. But dude, I can't go to the dentist anymore. I can't.
Yeah.
I just can't. I can't. They can't take those little metal things and stick them in between my gums and I can't do that shit. No, I'd rather you punch me in the face.
From what I remember, I don't mind the dentist, but
No, I didn't either.
the last thing I used health insurance for was rehab, and that was almost 8 years ago now.
So you haven't been to the dentist in like 8 years.
Well, I didn't have health insurance for a
Well,
while.
I'm trying to think.
Because I was 20.
17, I had a tooth pulled. So 17, 18, 19, 20. So 4 years for me. I haven't been there 4 years. And they had to decimate the tooth. They didn't just pull it because they couldn't. Because the root curved.
That's not good.
So they have to decimate it, which
Yeah.
means they break it apart and then they go in and they
Yeah.
grind. Hour and a half of them in my mouth pulling all these shards of teeth. And I was just like, fuck this. I was like, no way. I was like, never again. I mean, it was like a scene from fucking Saw or something like that. It was like, I'm not doing this shit anymore. But
I'm good. Well, on your dentist travesties, we're at the end, buddy.
Oh, God.
We already did it.
oh,
it
it
flew
like
by.
5 minutes.
Yeah,
It was like
but
5
you left
minutes.
on a positive note, man, so that's a good thing.
I don't.
man.
What was the positive note?
The dentist?
That wasn't positive.
Yeah, it's all perspective, I think. It was great having you out here, buddy, and that's
Sir,
all we got,
always
man.
A pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Oh,
I
thank
miss you, buddy.
I miss you too.
Oh.
All right, that's all done.
Oh.